also share his perspective. Can I also kindly request the citizens to just respect the presentations? We are going to have a plenary session where if you have comments, questions, you are also able to have your questions noted or your comments also shared within this platform. Zvinobatsira futhi kuti sadya nguva notakupedza nguva tichiita mhekemheke zvinoita kuti meeting yedu imbodzokera kumashure. Over to you, Mr. Mawarire.
Thank you. I hope I'm not going to talk about the application in 2013. I'm going to talk about the need to amend or to have conversations around the amendment of the current constitution. And the premise is that this is a negotiated constitution. Unfortunately, the constitution was negotiated between two political parties. And some of the provisions within the constitution...
Three political parties. Mine wasn't there, so I thought there were two. The two big, so-called big ones. So there was that idea that there was contestation between or among the three political parties. And most of the provisions, if you look at them, were politically driven, and some of them contradictory. I'm speaking not as an expert in law, but as a person who has conversed with the Constitution and who has also applied it in the area of elections. I'll talk, for instance, about the provision that Professor Maduku spoke about, where, for instance, when the president is elected, the Constitution or the drafters of the Constitution purported that the president is directly elected by the people. And it's not the party that is elected, it's the president who is elected. But in the event that that president resigns, is forced to resign, or dies in office, the drafters then assumed that it's not the individual who was elected by the people, but the party that he represents. That's why you don't have a by-election when the president resigns, as what happened on the 21st of November 2017. So there is that contradiction. If the president was directly elected by the people, if that president is no longer there, give the people a chance to elect the person who comes after that. Yes. So I think we need to have conversations around that. Do we have a by-election that would involve the whole country, or we have a parliament sitting and electing a president, as Professor Maduku suggested? Then we also have issues about the Constitution, the current Constitution, purporting that we should have gender equality in commissions, gender equality in any government institution, gender equality in any elective institution within the country. And we have seen that we had a provision which did not work, where we had a quota, a women's quota, which expired in the 2018 election. And I think the provision ceases to apply to the election in 2023. But we look at what has it achieved. In the 2013 election, how many women did we have directly elected? In the 210 parliamentary elections, there were 26. In the current parliament, the 9th parliament, we have 25 who were directly elected. Unfortunately, the other one passed on, and the political party from where she was coming from forwarded a male candidate. So now we have 24. And the percentage hovers around 35%, down to 33%. But the Constitution provides that we should have 50-50 representation. So how do we deal with that? From my own reading on electoral systems, I've also stumbled upon a system that ensures 50-50 gender representation, which is proportional representation. And I've only spoken about the 210 directly elected MPs. The situation is even worse when it comes to the 1,958 councillors. The percentage of women elected there is around 12%. So how do we deal with that? And my party proposes that we have proportional representation across all the elections that we have. That will solve the issue of gender representation. That will also solve the issue that is provided for in Section 20 of the Constitution on youth representation. Because the party list that political parties will then forward should ensure that we have enough youths on the party list without necessarily going to amendment number 2 where we seek to have a quota system for the youths. I don't believe in a quota system. I believe in everyone being given an equal platform. And the proportional representation, the proportional representation electoral system provides for that. It also gives us a way around one of the envisaged amendments where the president, the current president, is seeking to add onto the number of people that he can appoint as cabinet ministers outside parliament. He wants to increase them from 5 to 7. I think this has been necessitated by the fact that when he was appointed president after the coup, he came on and appointed, oblivious of the provisions of the Constitution, more than 5 people outside the Constitution. So you want to rectify that by amending the Constitution. So we are saying, if you do proportional representation, your party list should cater for gender representation. It should cater for youth representation. It should cater for skills that you are looking for. When you are appointing a cabinet, you don't have a situation where you have 210 elected MPs and you don't even have a lawyer. You don't even have a medical doctor. You end up appointing someone who is not even an anesthetist as a minister of health. And you could see some of the things that were shocking. Someone purported to be having coronavirus and the minister is there, no protective clothing whatsoever. So that's what you get if you don't have the skills that are required. So let's have conversations around what we can improve in this negotiated constitution that the MD sees in its various formations and ZANU-PF came up with. Let's involve the people of Zimbabwe to discuss the issues that they think can be amended. But we don't want a situation where if someone is afraid of Chiwenga, he says, no, I don't want a running mate. Because Chiwenga would kill me and would take over after me. So in order for me to circumvent that, let me change the constitution so that I appoint a subservient deputy. No, that's not a principle that we think we should entertain as citizens, as political players, not political actors. So we should also look at in refusing some of the amendments that are being promulgated by amendment number 2, the amendment number 2 bill. You look at especially the issue about the judges, the Supreme Court judges, about the High Court judges, the president wanting to appoint those ones, and also wanting to extend their terms of office beyond the prescribed 70 years. It's very clear why they are doing it. They've compromised the judiciary after the coup. They don't want the burden of starting to compromise new people, so they would rather carry on with those that are already compromised. So the easiest way, now that they are seeking is to amend the constitution so that they remain with Malala, they remain with all the other judges that were compromised. We have judges that presided over an application that the coup was constitutional. I've never seen a constitutional coup because, because what I know in any coup that I've read about is that the first thing that you subvert is a constitution. We have heard Honorable Scala being arrested for suggesting that we should remove ED. And some of the people that at the forefront say, you cannot remove a constitutionally elected president. We're the ones that were at the forefront in November 2017 removing a constitutionally elected president. And you wonder, do we read the same constitution? So those are the issues. And I would like to believe that, as Professor Maduku said earlier on, let's take the opportunity, seize the opportunity that has been opened up about these purported amendments to start the discourse on amending the negotiated constitution that we have. But let's not allow ZANU-PF to run with the agenda for amending the constitution. Whether they do that in Poland or what, let's resist that, even outside. Yes. Yes. I would like to believe that we have various platforms through which we can engage. We can even engage on Twitter. We don't need to be at State House. We don't need to be at Poland. We don't need to be given scones by Mnangagwa. We can begin to make those conversations in platforms like these, on Twitter, in our political parties, and in Parliament. Thank you. That's good.